I'm sure that you're over the topic of Titanic. When did you understand that you were part of such a big?
I think
because it's part of the American culture at this point. Like it's
yeah. It was probably when I started being approached on the street.
My friends, welcome back to another episode of After We Wrap. I am your host, Gabriella Ortiz, and this show is all about who we are when the camera stopped rolling. We're regular people.
Yeah.
Right? I wish we were aliens and get out of this planet right now, but here we are stuck in planet Earth. But oh my God, you guys, I'm so excited for today's guest. If I were to tell 10-year-old me right now, I'd be like, nah, get out of here. I'm sure some of you have seen Titanic. No big deal. No big deal. One of my favorite movies. No one's seen it. No one's seen it. And there's a person in that movie that you might recognize her right now. She's
cool
a little bit
baby
older.
girl.
She was a
baby.
little tiny baby. Such a cutie pie. Cutest smile. Cutest curls. Oh my God. Like I just picture it right now. I'm just going to go. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Owens-Sarno.
Yay!
I said it right?
You did it. You nailed it. I'm so proud of you.
Jesus. Okay. I'm sure that you're over the topic of Titanic. I mean, it's been a lifelong conversation.
Been a long time.
I can only imagine. So we will talk about it really, really quick.
Do you?
So my friends, do you all remember the little girl that Leonardo DiCaprio danced with? Cora? She's right here.
I'm here.
I've
arrived.
She's an adult now.
Full grown.
Because we grow up and that sucks, you know? But I wish we could stay little forever and have no responsibilities.
No responsibilities. We got to make that shirt.
No responsibilities. How was dancing with Leonardo DiCaprio?
It was terrible. I hated No, I'm just kidding. It was great. I'm not a dancer. It's definitely not in my repertoire. But when you're in that kind of situation, it's just, I didn't even really know who he was.
Sure. Yeah.
Our first scene that we filmed was this scene that ended up getting cut. And when we went home that day, my mom was like, do you know who you were on camera with? And I was like, Leo, my friend.
Gilbert Grape.
That's what she said. She literally showed me Gilbert Grape that week. And I was like, he's a real actor. So with that being said, I then knew who he was when we were doing the dancing scene. And yeah, it just, at that point, he was just my buddy. And it was super fun. And he just kind of flailing me around. And that was actually, the dancing was part of my audition. Okay. So I got onto Mally Finn's feet and she just kind of like did a little dance with me and it was really cool. So yeah, it's kind of like the big piece.
Wow.
Especially for my character. And it was just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're just here because mom told me to be here. Whatever.
I'm 8.
You were 8 at that time?
Yeah.
Wow. Was that your first job? Like your first?
Yeah.
Okay.
We went down to Rosarito for an open casting call for extras. And at that point, I was 7. And my sister was like 3.5, somewhere around there, 4, going on 4. And my mom told us about Titanic and all the people who died. My sister just starts bawling, bawling her little heart out. And my sister actually was the one with the curls at the time. I didn't get my curls until puberty. So she had these beautiful ringlets and just like fate, whatever you want to call it, Mally Finn happened to be walking by at that exact moment. She was the casting director. And so she was like, get that kid in a costume, get her on a boat now, because they wanted her to play the little girl that Billy Zane's character lifts up and take. I'm the only thing she has in the world. They wanted her to be that little girl.
I've got a kid.
Exactly. They wanted her to be that character. She cried too much, it turns out. Yeah, she was really overwhelmed. And I was with my uncle and Mally was like, do you want to audition for this part? And I was like, yeah, sure. I don't know what that means though. Yeah. I'm just like, let's go do it. So I got in line behind a bunch of little blonde girls and
the brunette got it. Wow. That's so cool. Wait, no, he said, I've got a child, not a kid. I hate when that happens and I think of a line and then I was like, wait, that's not it. Close. But I'm a little.
Meanwhile, I'm like, yeah, that sounds right.
I'm a little obsessed with Titanic. Listen, and that's it. We won't talk about it anymore. But I saw it in the movies, I think 3 times. I love the boobie scene for some reason. I was like, boobs.
Let's go.
It was
Meanwhile, my mom's like, don't you?
It was legal boobs for boys back then. I saw it 4 times in the theater, and I was like, oh, "It's such a beautiful film, Mom." It's like I'm so touched.
It really speaks to me.
It really did speak to me.
Yeah. But no, genuinely, it's one of my top 3 films. Just because of everything, and then of course it's a real story, and I love history. I love learning about things that happen in history. And so that this was one of those that I was like I wanted to actually learn the history of Titanic, and I bought a shit ton of books because I was like, I want to learn everything.
Yeah.
And I had like a weird fascination with Titanic. And then I grew up and then I was like,
I think too, for like, no, all jokes aside, like I think for me personally, like, it's very nostalgic to a very good time in my life. Like anytime like it's on TV, I'll pop it on, watch a little bit of it. I'm like, God dang, man. And also that was to me the last, I feel like the world started going downhill soon after that period of time, in the sense of like,
I can see it. Yeah.
I don't want to get too crazy, but like 9/11,
Yeah.
iPhone, internet, social media. It was just like, that was the last like pure, before the internet, like physical media, like it was just the last pure time. Like if you really think about it, like we were in the moment, man.
Definitely.
Like, yeah. So that's just one of the many things of that time period that like can transport people back to it. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after Titanic, that was your first job. Did you get your SAC card? Were you into it? What happened after?
So because we were filming in Mexico, the rules didn't really apply. They knew that the cast was going to be so enormous because they needed so many extras. And so I didn't get eligibility, anything. I had a line. I was just basically like a featured extra, and that was it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
I feel like nowadays that wouldn't fly.
Oh, it would not fly.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And I think my mom was just like super excited.
Sure. Yeah.
And didn't know.
Yeah.
And so you just you have this opportunity and you're like, let's just go for it. This is super great. You don't really know how to advocate for yourself because you're not connected in that industry. So I ended up getting an agent after that. And I think it was actually Leonardo DiCaprio's first agency was the agency I ended up signing with, but I'm not entirely sure.
Damn.
And then basically it was just like an onslaught of rejection, and having to drive all the way up here. I'm from San Diego, so driving up here and the commute just to like get a no what became it was a big toll. So I took a really big break.
Okay.
I would do school plays and whatnot, but other than that, it wasn't really until I moved back up here. Well, up here in the first place. What am I talking about? Moved up here and then was like, okay, I want to pursue this in a way that I actually know what I'm doing, and like starting classes and kind of learning more about what all of it is about. And also, it's so much soul searching and like knowing who you are and getting over so many different things that hold you down. So it's just kind of been, I feel like the majority of my journey in LA has been kind of getting to know myself outside of who I was told I was, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at now. Is I've done things along the way, mostly like small personal projects and projects with friends and stuff. And I feel like I'm kind of coming into that space of I know who I am. I know where like my talent lies, and I know where it lives, and I can go forward from there.
I think
That's
for many
beautiful.
kids too, like that you just, of course, has stumbled across the biggest film of all time. But like, this is a story that's happened. I have friends that you've met that are like, that were child actors. And so like, it's like this blessing of being out the gate in this major opportunity, but then and a part of it is slightly a curse because you didn't even get a chance yet to find out as an artist who you were or what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine. It's funny, like there's a part of me that did want to be I wanted to be an actor when I was a kid more than anything in the fucking world.
Mm-hmm.
But there's times now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, well, maybe this would have happened or that would have happened. And I do ultimately, I have to find peace with the way my journey's gone. I can't even imagine on the scale of like what you've accomplished and experienced, and to then be like, yes, this is what I imagine. I'm not trying to put myself in your shoes, but I imagine it's something like I acknowledge and I appreciate that I was a part of this thing that nothing has been able to touch since then. But I also, I can show you so much more. And I know you can, because I've worked with you.
Yeah.
And you're one of the most gifted actors I've ever worked with.
Thank you.
So I don't know, that is something I've never experienced, but that people experience all the time.
Well, it's so interesting that you say that too, because I feel like I've always wanted to be an actor since I was 4 years old. I remember I would try and was trying to figure out how to get into the TV to be on Barney. And I'm like, why can't I be there? Like,
You're the second person that says that. It's so funny.
Who else said that?
Was it Danielle? No, Alisa Reyes.
Yes.
Yeah, she said, I'm trying to get into the TV.
Yeah.
She was a child actor too. Yeah.
How did I I never even thought of that. I was always like, what do those people do?
and how?
Yeah, anyways,
Yeah,
continue.
I just
Sorry.
used to kind of like hit on the TV and be like, I want to be in there. And then, did Titanic. And looking back, it was one of those things where I was like, for me, the thing that really lit me up about the Titanic experience in the realm of acting was actually my drowning scene. Which
that ended up not in the final project.
It was heavily rejected by moms. They were like,
oh
yeah.
There was a scene.
Oh, yeah.
She had it
So
was a big scene.
basically, they wanted the scene in the movie.
I want to cry.
Jim wanted the scene in the movie. I did my own stunt. It is.
Yes, girl.
It's a lot. That night I met Linda Hamilton too, which was pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
So when they were showing test audiences, they were like, not her. We will not watch her die.
You're if not one of the most beloved characters in that movie. So too much.
Way too much.
I can see that.
They were like, absolutely not. So it's on YouTube. You can see it.
Oh
Is
my
it
God.
really?
Great. Now I have to go. I'm
I'm not going to put that in this episode, but yeah, if you want to go see that.
It's a thing. So I realized like being in that space of really heightened emotion and whatnot was what really drew me to acting. And then coming up here and being like a thicker girl, whatever. So many people are like, comedy for you, comedy. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's fine. Comedy comes naturally and comedy is beautiful and I love to do it. But what sits inside of me is drama, like mess and drama and all of that. And so it's been really interesting to work from a space where being acknowledged, particularly like in class and amongst my peers in a comedic sense, to now be, 36 and kind of standing strong in what the mess looks like and being acknowledged for my dramatic work now. And so even that process was really life-changing. So like you're saying, going from being a child actor and kind of the expectation of what that looks like to now being me and being in this, like owning who I am. It's really, it's been interesting.
You said that you struggled to find your next job after Titanic. What is it about? And I've noticed this, not a lot, but the actor gets the role of their life. It's a big movie, whatever. And then all of a sudden, this person doesn't continue to work because like once you book a job and you establish yourself as an actor, then all of these offers should come in and
I think
grow
it's
and
expectation.
grow.
There's an expectation to deliver what you did in that magical moment on that project. Happens with a lot of Academy Award winners. Like they'll make a movie, win an Academy Award, and then you literally don't hear from them for years. It's not that they're not auditioning. It's not that they're not trying. It's that they're being expected to replicate this magic. And the magic you created on Titanic, I can imagine, was expected of you in so many different scenarios after.
I think also with Titanic, that audition, for instance, was a complete improv audition. You know, it's just say this and do that and whatnot. So to move from that into a space where now I have a script, I have to know lines, I have to do the acting thing, but having no training in what the acting thing is and not really understanding where my imagination is supposed to meet the words. I think that that is also part of it, you know, just not having an understanding of the craft of what it is. So you can only, you know, like we would plan out moments, and there's nothing less interesting than a planned out moment.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, well, you need to hit tears here and, you know, be funny here and say it this way and whatnot. And, you know, just kind of working in a space where it's not about artistic expression, it's about hitting points.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that was something for me specifically
Sure.
that I
Yeah,
really, looking back, I've noticed. It's like, oh, because I didn't understand what it actually was, there was no space for me to really grow into that, because it wasn't like all of a sudden James Cameron is now putting me in everything so he can guide me along the way.
Mhm.
Now I have to kind of go and do it on my own as
Yeah.
a 9-year-old. And you're just kind of like, I don't really get it. I don't know what this is. I know it lives in me and I know this is what I want to do, but getting from point A to point B isn't necessarily connecting for me.
Okay. Yeah, I just always found it odd, you know, how we see somebody who, wow, finally their career's taken off, and then
Well, that's what we all as actors think. It's like, oh, we land this big part and then it's going to just be gravy train.
Yeah.
Mhm.
From there on forward. And it can be sometimes,
Sure,
and then
yeah.
sometimes it can't be, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, and that's the journey.
That's the journey. I love this journey. My God.
It's addictive.
It is.
It's a drug, man.
really
We're all a
is.
little bit of drug addicts to want
We
to do
are.
this, man.
I know.
Just a
Like, we're a little bit
little.
psychotic for doing this every day. I'm just like, this is psychotic. Is there a question about working on Titanic that you've never been asked that you have always wanted to be asked?
That's a great question. That question.
That question.
That's the one.
That's the one.
No, I don't really know. I mean, it's just such an iconic film, and I guess it's like a really iconic character.
When did you
So people just want to know.
Yeah. When did you understand that you were part of such a big,
I think
because it's part of the American culture at this point. Like it's,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Yeah.
it was probably when I started being approached on the street. I mean, you know, people would be like, "Oh my gosh, are
At
you
that age?
Cora?" Yeah.
Okay.
"Oh my gosh, are you Cora? Like, can I have an autograph? Can we have a picture?" That kind of thing was just like, "Oh, this is different. This is not. This isn't just like move on with your life. Something for me to brag about at school.
Yeah.
Like, this is people see me and know me and recognize who I am, and then moving through life and my family just." Anyone they could tell,
Yeah.
especially my grandmother. Oh my gosh, my grandma Loretta was just like, "This is my baby girl, and she was in Titanic." And I'm like, "Grandma, I love you to death. Not at Top Tomato." That is a deep Staten Island cut right there. Top Tomato.
Was it tough in school, or did it make it easy? Did you make more friends because you were in a movie?
There was definitely.
I always
There
thought
were
in school
camps.
I always thought in school, like if I'd have been on TV or something, it would have been the best. I always thought. Was it?
I was class president.
With that, yes. Round of applause.
Yes, I was in 5th grade. Just a real quick story about that, because you brought up something very specific. My mom made my little posters when I was running, and one of them was like she had cut out my headshot and then put like a teeny tiny body on me, and then I'm holding the Titanic. And the slogan was, "Don't go down with the ship. Vote for Alex Owens-Sarno for president."
My God.
That's genius.
Brilliant.
I won by a
gosh.
landslide.
Wow.
With that being said, it was definitely interesting, because I think that, I mean, first of all, I was probably kind of a brat about it, because I was like, "But he's my bestie. Like, don't you know?" Everyone would have their little J14 magazines, and I'd be like, "Oh, my best friend Leo. Yeah, I know." So I was probably a little bit of an asshole. We can acknowledge. And then there was definitely a feeling of like people wanting to be my friend because of it. And so you have kind of that, okay, well, I like having friends, but I definitely feel that weirdness of this feels very connected to Titanic as opposed to who I am. And then I had a couple little bullies in middle school and stuff, and it was not even a big deal, just like regular silly stuff. But people had assumptions, like they assumed that I was rich and that, I just had everything handed to me. And I'm like, nah, we still live in a tiny apartment in El Cajon. Like this is not what you think it is.
It's crazy that that's being in the industry. And because I acknowledged that before I actually, started in the industry, I'd be like, oh, I bet this girl is rich. She's been on TV a couple of times. And now being on the other side, it's like, oh no. No, I was still wrong.
Hungry.
Yeah. I don't know where my next paycheck is coming from. All right, enough about Titanic. Listen, I don't want to torture you like that because yeah, I can only imagine.
No, it's totally fine.
Valentine's Day is at the end of this week. How do you feel about the holiday?
The holiday. I think that interesting. Well, if we must know, I broke up with my ex literally like 4 days before Valentine's Day last year. Probably around today. So I don't have like a thing against Valentine's Day. I think that acknowledging love is beautiful. I think we can also do it every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think I don't have like, oh,
yeah.
Me, I'm single and what the hell?
I'm like, no, I love love. I love people being in love and having good partnerships and whatnot. Like, why not? Why not celebrate that? Celebrate it more often. But also, yeah, let's give a cute little day to smile and be fun and whatever.
And be extra romantic.
And be
that
extra
day.
romantic.
Out of all the days, be
So
extra
many
romantic
flowers.
that day. The entire apartment.
I don't know
full of
how
flowers.
I could be more romantic. That's the tough
We can
part.
talk about this
We'll talk
later,
about this
Gabby.
later.
Okay, because I mean, I know Shane's
Okay, Gabby.
So many resources out there.
Okay. Resources.
I don't know. Like, you can figure it out yourself.
I don't like what this is turning into.
I'm hearing do some research.
I don't like this. I don't like
you got
this. Started as a joke and it's turning real.
No. But you know what? Actually, I do appreciate Galentine's Day more.
Hello, yes.
Put me in a room full of women. I'm the happiest.
Let's go. Because, I mean, it took me a really long time to be like a girl's girl. It really did.
I think all of us.
It is something that women have to unlearn. Is like, no, I mean, but I just get along better with guys.
Yeah.
No, we're conditioned to see each other as competition. We're conditioned to get married and have kids and whatnot. And if that's like the conditioning, then everyone is a problem.
Yeah.
And you get to a point where it's like, wait, no, there's camaraderie in what being a woman is. And there's so much more that we can do together as opposed to apart. And yeah, it took me a long time. And then when I finally got there, I was like, oh, I can breathe.
Yeah.
This is so nice.
Yes. I sympathize with that because same. I did pageants and, put me in like a space of, I need to be better. I need to be skinnier. I need to be prettier than this girl. Oh, she has black hair. Okay, let me dye it brown or whatever. I don't know. And I don't know exactly when I realized that, this should have never been a competition against each other. It should have been a sisterhood from the very beginning. I don't know when that happened, but I'm so happy that we live in this era where we are.
Yes.
We're being what's the word I'm looking for? That we realize that the lies they were telling us, doesn't work for us. Like we're not going to compete against each other. We have to be arm in
and
arm.
it's nice too, I think, doing what we do you don't realize how important community is.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you're the same type as somebody, you can go out for the same things, it doesn't mean that you have to be a complete asshole
I
about it.
know. I know.
You can, I have some of my closest, like my best friends in LA. We're kind of the same type. And so it's just, oh, you did that audition too? Hell yeah, I know you killed it. I know it.
Yeah.
And that energy just permeates out, and there's so much space where you have to find peace with what we do.
Yeah.
And community is that. And you cannot just say, nope, no women, just men. And then it's, what is that?
It just happened to me this couple days ago. I had sent in an audition for a play, and then this girlfriend that I met in another acting class, she got the role that I was hoping to be considered for. And I read it, I laugh, and I go, oh my gosh, she got the role. Okay. And then I messaged her, I was like, yes, I'm so happy that you got it, because I know you and I know what you're capable of doing. And, like, sure, I want to be considered for that role, but hell yeah, that you got it.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing. But it's insane how long it took us to get here.
So long, like embarrassingly long.
Yeah.
Embarrassingly long.
I know. So, Valentine's Day is all about love, loving others, but then we have to love ourselves too.
Yes.
I think loving yourself first is the most important, so then you can love others. What do you do? What are you going to do on Valentine's Day for self-love?
I'll probably be working. I have kind of, since my breakup, I feel like 2024 was kind of like a cocoon year for me. Just being at home, being alone in my space, and really finding myself again.
Yeah.
And so I try and take at least a couple minutes in the morning, especially to I'll do my morning pages. And really, for me, self-love is digging into spaces that feel uncomfortable and opening them up and allowing myself to move through them through a healing process. And so, that's just kind of the thing, is just, what is it that keeps me from loving myself, which in turn then is keeping me from properly loving someone else and finding someone who can properly love me back because they love themselves.
Yeah.
For a long time, I attracted a lot of that energy of, I don't love myself. We're two people who don't love ourselves. We can pour ourselves into the other. And then it just absolutely detonates because you're just in a constant space of need.
Yeah.
I need you to love me. I need you to validate me. So for me, just digging deeper and deeper into the parts of myself that I don't see lovable and learning how to love them.
Okay.
Is really just the thing.
Yeah, that is. Wow.
So that's what I'll be doing on Valentine's Day before I go and serve a whole bunch of couples.
Oh my gosh. No, but it's so true. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'm probably working too. Unless this guy's going to take me out on a date. I don't know.
I haven't every year for Valentine's Day.
I know. I'm kidding.
We're
Chuck E. Cheese.
We're trying to tell you how to be more romantic, Shane. Jeez.
Chuck E. Cheese?
I think I just stumbled across
that thing is still open?
What
that still
romance
exists?
really is to Gabby, and I've been fucking doing it.
Animatronic mouse.
Honestly, if he were to tell me we're going to Disneyland, hell yeah. Let's go to Disney.
just that inexpensive especially on V-Day.
It's really easy. It's easy to go to. It's right there.
30 minutes away.
Stop.
Or
very affordable.
You need to listen to your friend. I have a Disney pass, so I don't even know what I'm
We had one
she goes to Disney.
Man, we had one for a
used to have
second,
one,
but man, it
It's
adds
too
up.
much, yeah.
Let's just say I don't pay for it.
Oh, mommy.
Yeah. Thanks, mama.
Yeah.
But I'm only going to see you at Disneyland, so I'll pay for your pass. I'm like, I love that.
There you go.
Well, we also had it during the whole time that you had to make reservations. And so it made the whole process super annoying.
Oh, you still have to do
it
that.
still
You
like
still have to
that?
do that?
Mhm.
Oh, I thought you didn't have to.
No, you
Oh.
do. I know.
Hi, Bruce. So what's a typical day? You know, this is what this podcast is all about. What happens after the cameras, stop rolling? What do we do? Who we are? What do you do?
Yeah.
Yep,
What do I
just
do?
that.
What do I do? Well, I just I just started working out with my dad. He's like training me in the mornings. He's my upstairs neighbor. So I like roll out of bed and I pet my cat and tell him he's the cutest thing in the whole world and I love him and I'd die for him. And then I walk out and then my dad's dog gets all cute and then so we do that. Then I go do our little quick workout. And then honestly, I usually veg for a while and then go to work. But I'm trying to find that, like I said, I've been in like cocoon, like a little insulated. So now just trying to get out there more and be a person again. Because it kind of takes a minute sometimes to really be a person again. So yeah, I love the grocery store. I love to go to the grocery.
Me too.
People get anxiety and I feel so bad for them.
I know.
Like, no, it's the
so
greatest
soothing.
place.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a Trader Joe's
Sa-
girl.
My girl.
I mean,
I love Trader Joe's.
The hottest employees.
Oh.
You know what? Yes.
You know, I never really thought about it, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah. There's
are
one
quite
specifically
attractive.
where I get eye candy every time I go to. I forgot about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got this.
You're not invited.
This podcast has been fantastic.
You're never going to that one.
Alex, can't wait to have you back on our podcast.
Shane's like, I regret everything. So the Trader Joe's that I go to, two of my regulars from the old bar that I used to work at work there. So I run into them all the time and we just have
reunion.
yeah, it's cute.
Aw.
They're like, hey, Alex. And I'm like, hi, what's going on? Tell me everything. So yeah, I love Trader Joe's. This is part of my day. What the hell? I love to cook. I love to cook.
Me too.
Yeah, that's one of the things about not being in my relationship anymore. That's kind of been the bummer is like not having someone to cook for.
Cook for yourself.
I mean, I do.
Yeah.
I cook.
I find
nice.
that I'm so sorry, baby. I find it more satisfying to cook for myself than
It took me a while. It took me a while. My dad's side of the family is New York Italian. And so it's cooking is love.
Yes.
My grandmother
Yes.
was an insane cook, like so good. And after my grandfather passed, she actually never really cooked again. She cooked us like one thing for breakfast after he passed, and that was it because her whole heart was gone. And that kind of has, in a way, like been absorbed by me. Like
Okay.
I show love by cooking for people. I haven't
Yeah.
always, I don't really have a lot of money. So that's how I show it. And, now I'm much better about it. And I'm actually cooking well again because the first 6 months after the breakup, I was like, oh, this is horrible. I've never cooked this terrible in my life. But I'm finally back in the groove of things. But I definitely put on the best cook when I'm cooking for someone else.
Nice.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
So I feel like my most successful dish is chicken piccata. I'm going to do it with a couscous with roasted veggies and broccolini. And then, but my I feel like a powerful Italian woman is when I make a Sunday sauce. So like a nice 6-7 hour sauce.
Oh wow.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just made eggplant lasagna.
Ooh.
So good. I was like, what the heck is
What did
this,
I just do?
Girl.
I used to love making lasagna. I would make a Halloween lasagna in college.
How do you do that?
It's
Wait.
it's a lasagna just for Halloween.
Well, what does it what does it have?
It's like a regular lasagna.
Oh, just a regular lasagna. Okay.
ass lasagna. But we called it Halloween lasagna because you have like the Christmas lasagna or the Easter lasagna. I would make Halloween lasagna in
I
college.
was over here thinking you were going to put like marshmallows
Right,
and
same.
Reese's in it. I'm like,
and candy
I want
corn.
that. Give me that.
No, just a regular sausage and ground beef lasagna. But it was our Halloween lasagna because that's when
Okay.
I would make it.
I do love lasagna.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I haven't made a lasagna since my birthday a couple years ago. It's probably time.
Yeah.
It's probably the time to
Yeah,
make it again.
maybe this will inspire you to
I just bring
to do
lasagna
it.
to
Just
you.
bring it next time you come. Damn it, I had the question and it left my brain. I hate when that
Everybody
happens.
take a shot. It's that time of the episode where Gabby forgot what she was going to say.
I'm sorry. I don't stop talking.
No. What's your favorite? So you're half Italian, you said? Okay. What's your favorite? Have you been to Italy?
No.
No. We gotta take you to Italy,
I
girl.
know. My grandparents for forever were just like, we can't wait to take you girls, blah, 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 blah. Then my grandpa got really, really, really sick. And yeah, it just kind of, he got sick. He held on for 6 years. And then, yeah, once he was gone, my grandma was like, I don't know how to function. She was with him since she was 16 years old.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah, and they were married for 50 years in 1 week. And yeah, so the ideal situation now is to go with like my dad and my sister and some of his brothers maybe, and that would be like
What
best
part of
case.
Italy?
So that's an excellent question. From what I remember my grandparents telling me, Genoa on my grandma's side and then Naples on my grandfather's side.
Okay.
But it can be a little,
Yeah.
you know. I actually have a funny story about when my great grandparents immigrated. So my grandfather's father came here and he was in love with this woman back in Italy. So he was like, I'm going to send money. And then when we have enough, send her over,
Oh my
all
gosh.
of that. Well, she had an older sister who was unmarried because she wanted to become a nun.
Oh,
Mhm.
stop. So she brought the sister.
The dad sent the sister.
Oh my God.
And then what happened?
They got married and had 3 kids. Because what are you going to do at that point? At that point, you're here. What are you going to go back to Italy?
Well, I guess this'll do.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
grandma
God.
was like,
That's like a movie.
That is literally a movie.
my grandma was like, yeah, your great grandma Angelina she was a little
Alex,
angry.
you gotta write that movie.
Yeah.
That's your movie.
I know.
To
I've
write.
thought about it. I've really thought about it. But we don't have we were very kind of insulated. Like my grandma and my grandpa, and then they had 4 boys. So it was us. And then obviously you have the extended family of grandparents' best friends or aunts and uncles and whatnot. But we didn't really see my grandfather's, I think it's 2 sisters. See? We didn't really even see them.
Okay.
All I remember is that one of my cousins has a very deathly, crazy peanut allergy. Like, that's what I remember about that. Like, my grandpa's family is one of my cousins has a very bad peanut allergy. And that's pretty much it. I'm like, okay. So I don't know the full story. It would be really nice to get
Have
it,
you done
though.
the 23andMe or the Ancestry?
I looked real quick on Ancestry because I was considering getting dual citizenship. And apparently if you have documentation through your paternal line, you're able to get dual citizenship for Italy. And that's what I've heard.
I would do
was
it if I were
thinking
you.
about that.
I would do it if I were you in a heartbeat.
I really think I should
So,
at this point.
anyways,
Yeah.
4 years. Anyways,
What do you mean?
What?
Everything's great.
Everything's great. Take a sip of the wine.
So,
Yeah, he
'Cause
just
I-
starts breaking down into
Because everything's right. Because I'm thinking of, because being Puerto Rican, I can apply for a Spanish passport, but I also can apply too for Italy because my mom has a house there. And
See?
so I have 2 options to get the
You
fuck
should
out of
just
here.
triple
I
citizenship.
should.
Just all over the
I
place.
got options, baby.
A lady of the world.
Yes. Who do I want to be today?
I am Spanish today. I am Italian.
That
And we're
already
back to it.
happens. You living here. Who do I want to be today?
Who do I want to be today?
Because I never know.
Every day, the different one wakes up.
Same.
But what's your favorite Italian dish to eat?
My favorite Italian
But
dish
wait,
to
you
eat.
haven't had authentic Italian pizza. This is killing me.
Well,
You got to go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese.
you are an insult to my people. Well, so listen, my grandma made this red sauce.
I can only imagine.
This meat sauce was out of control. So much so that my sister and I would stay up really, really late because we didn't understand that you had to acclimate to the time change. We were just like, no, we're going to stay up until 4 a.m. doing whatever we want because mom's not here to tell us to go to sleep. And it's only what? It doesn't matter. We're San Diego. We're in New York. We're going to have fun. So what we would do, she would always put it in like a polio carton, which was like the mozzarella carton or the ricotta. And we would just go into the fridge.
And
Me in particular,
yeah,
just straight out of the fridge, cold.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the best
It's
thing I've
so
ever
good.
eaten. So really anything that my grandmother made was just everything and always.
red sauce, right?
Red sauce.
Mhm.
Red sauce. So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, the woman made an amazing fried rice, like a barbecue pork fried rice.
Interesting.
She grew up on Mulberry Street in Little Italy, and it's right by Chinatown. So she was living in a tenement building.
Oh.
She'd have to walk her cute little butt all the way up, and I think it was on the 3rd floor, lived this woman who loved my grandmother and was like, I want to teach you how to make fried rice. And it was like insanely delicious. I don't know. When she passed, my cousin was giving my grandmother's cousin's daughter was giving the eulogy.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, yeah, and we all know Loretta was the best cook. Sorry, Mom, but we all know it's true.
Oh,
that
my
was just
gosh.
everyone fawned over what my grandmother made. So pretty much if I can have any meal, it'd be just like anything my grandma would be willing to make me. She would make she never made handmade pasta when we were kids. It was just mainly the sauce.
Okay.
But she used to do this like potato and egg pie for breakfast.
Wow.
And she made the best cold cut sandwich. I don't know what it was about
It's the
how she
paninis.
did it.
Yeah.
I just was like,
That's a thing.
oh, she would just, it was so good. I'm like, Grandma, can I have
Oh.
another one? She's like, of course, baby.
Your
Of course, Grandma.
sounds amazing.
She was so crazy and so great.
like, I had an awesome grandfather, a very strict, I think two strict grandmothers, and then one was dead before I was born. But I just, grandparents are like,
They're,
just a gift.
yeah.
I love them.
I had really great grandparents. Like,
That's wonderful.
I don't know, we were all really close.
Mm.
And like my grandfather was just salt of the earth amazing and worshipped my grandmother. And then my grandmother was just this talk about a strong, independent woman. She
Italian women.
No
are-
bullshit.
oof.
No. And my grandfather would tell my dad and my uncles, like, whatever Mom says, you do. I don't even come to me. If she says no, it's a no.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't care. I don't care if you think it's the dumbest thing you've ever heard. You're doing what Mom says because she runs this house.
Aw.
She was a little terrifying. She was fantastic though. Fantastic.
I can feel her. I don't know her, and I can already feel her
Oh,
energy
gosh,
and her
it's
smiling
just-
down to us right now.
She was
Aw.
wild. She was so funny too. My mom, they did not get along. But my mom really, she was, two young girls. She was like, I don't want you to like get pregnant and do all these things. So, we grew up in the church, so we were always like really covered. And then we'd go to New York, and my grandma's like, if you got it, flaunt it. Like she'd just buy us these things, and my mom would be like, absolutely not. You're not keeping that. Where did these shoes come from? You're not a hooker. Like, let's go.
She would go to Italy and buy it? Or no?
No, like we'd go back to New York.
Oh,
And we'd
gotcha,
have, like,
gotcha.
The New Year's Eve party or the Christmas Eve
Yes,
party. And she'd
okay.
be like, oh, do you like that? Like, oh, it's really showing off your figure. I'm like, This is
Oh
fantastic.
my
She was
gosh.
wonderful. I miss her
Aw,
every
they
day.
sound lovely. Man. Hi, Grandma. Hope you're doing well.
I love you.
So to go back, because I feel like we're
Where are we?
I don't know, girl. Is it still 2025? Are we still in 2025? Shit,
It's still
I
January.
was hoping it was December
2025.
31st.
Yeah, this has been the longest
here
year of
the whole
January.
We sit here at the end of every year being like, man, this year ran by real fast. And then this January specifically has gone by.
It's been a year.
It's been a whole year.
It's
It's
been a
whole
year.
year. Yeah,
Like, what is even happening?
I don't know.
Careful what you ask for.
But I asked for happiness and I didn't ask for stress.
I got a question for both of you.
Yeah.
What do you want,
pivoting
Shane?
what the fuck do you want? Pivoting back to happiness and hopefully the rest of this year pivots. What are, for both of you, dream roles, maybe for this year?
Dream roles.
Well, you know mine, babe.
Well,
I don't.
That's true.
speak it again. She doesn't.
Well, I've always wanted to play Esmeralda on Hunchback. I just did the play, and I feel like I could do that role in my sleep.
I would love to see that.
I'd love to see myself in that role too.
Mhm.
Oh, maybe like the live action even better if they ever make a live
preferably.
action. But you know what? I want to play a Spanish princess in some sort of Bridgerton world. Doesn't have to be Bridgerton,
Or it can be.
or it can be. But I absolutely whatsoever will not do a British accent.
Okay.
Because I can't.
So the whole show, everybody's gonna be like, why does this one character not have an
Yes,
accent?
because I'm from Spain.
Oh.
I'm not
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
from
Makes sense.
England.
All right. Can you show her your British accent real quick?
I want
Oh,
it so bad.
this
Please. Thank you. You're the best. Let's do this.
I don't think you've tried it on air, have you? Jana and you tried accents.
This is
at
a
one
safe
point.
space.
I will be demolished by our viewers.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts, Kyle. It hurts. She's got the part.
So,
I love it. That's fantastic.
what is your
No,
dream role?
we don't have to do it anymore.
I got hot.
I'm looking at the analytics right now, and this is the point that everyone leaves this episode.
And bye-bye.
I cannot do a British accent. Cannot.
Then we're going to get you a dialect coach and you're going to nail it.
I'm
That's what this is. That's what 2025 is about. Giving you a British accent to die for.
I don't know. I had
No, you
I
can
had
do
this
it.
one. She's a phenomenal actress, and she trained in London. And I was working wardrobe in this job, and she started like talking British, and I was like, oh man, I'm so jealous. You can do a British accent. And she's like, it's all about going like out, about like, and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't even take it seriously.
What
But
do you
yeah,
mean?
no. So I
Ouch and about. I don't, how do I do my British
dream role.
accent? Oh yeah, dream role. I love villains.
Mm.
I love villains. My favorite Disney character is Maleficent. I would love to play a villain.
Yeah.
Just the further that we get into our craft, we realize you have to have empathy for these people and all of that stuff. And it just the challenge of finding, where justifying being a bad guy lives
Mm.
is so fun and challenging.
Yeah.
My scene partner and I just finished Danny in the Deep Blue Sea, and playing Roberta was wild. And it was just one scene. We're not even talking like play and all. It was so crazy, like hitting on triggers and traumas and pulling all of that up and finding safety in that. And I feel like villains take that and then just turn it on its head to be a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that really interesting. As opposed to like crumbling into
Yeah, yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
They are like, no, now I'm going to take on the world.
Yeah.
So I love that. I just love a good, strong, even if it's bad. Like, don't get me wrong, just desserts all day. Like, I'm willing to do another death scene if I'm a villain. I got to get what I'm getting.
I think
But
it would be so much fun to play a villain.
it would be so fun.
Mhm.
She's like, I'm a naughty girl.
And that's how I would do it.
I'm like, hi, I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, I feel like I'm too sweet, although I'm entering in this era of like, you see, entering into this
Damn.
villain era where it's like nobody fuck with me
Yes.
energy, leave me the fuck alone energy.
I tell my best friend all the time, I am entering into like my revenge.
Yeah.
space. Like, let's
yeah,
go.
yeah, but in a good way, not a bad way.
No,
where
I
you
don't want to
no,
hurt
it's not
anybody,
about
but I want to
hurting.
let you know that
Yes.
you're dumbass.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. So I would be interested in
Mhm.
playing a villain too. I was told, somebody told me that I reminded them of what is the character on The Emperor's New Groove? Yzma.
Yzma is okay. I cannot tell you how many years in a row that I have wanted to be Yzma for Halloween.
What a fun
She's
character.
oh, she's just
so
first
funny.
and foremost like to be voiced by
I know.
Eartha Kitt,
I know.
who is
Iconic.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I love
Yes.
people send me stuff from her all the time, like old
You see, that's
interviews
the
and
energy
stuff, and I'm
I
like,
wish I had.
love her.
I wish I had Eartha Kitt's energy.
Yes. Well, she has that very like gravelly. Like,
She's like,
don't
no
even come
fucks
over
given.
here. Excuse me,
Yeah.
man. You seem very weak right now. It feels like you can't even handle me.
Literally.
And I'm like, I want to eat your
I
face.
want that. Yes. How do I get that in my DNA? Oh my gosh. All right, girl, listen.
What?
Our producers are giving me the signals that we have to wrap up.
They hate us.
Because, like, whatever. I was having so much fun.
Shane is like, if I knew that Alex was just
Stop.
going to torture me the whole time.
Well, that's kind of true.
I love you.
I know.
Yeah.
I love this. Thank you for bringing her here. Like, I'm so happy that
I've
you're
always
here.
wanted you guys to be closer friends. I knew you'd be.
He
But
literally
all
for
this fucking time.
years. He's like, I need you when you guys were dating. I need you to meet my girlfriend. I need you to meet my fiance. I need you to meet my wife.
One of these
And
days,
sorry,
damn it.
Shane.
it evolved over time.
Yeah, it just was constantly like, you and Gabby would really love each other. You would really love each other. I really want. Can you guys meet? I'm like, it'll happen.
It'll happen. Don't force things, babe.
Mhm.
Anyways, okay. So before I let you go, and I don't want to let you go because I just want to keep hanging out. If you were stuck in a deserted island, what are
Ooh.
3 things that you would bring with you, and why?
Challenging questions in a challenging year.
Dun dun dun.
Okay. I'd have to bring my Ellie, which is my stuffed animal that I've had since I was 3 years old.
I love that.
And she's in
Gabby.
mint condition.
I love that so much.
Oh God, what happened?
It's meaningful. You've had it
Yeah.
since how? Since how old?
I have had her since I was 3 years old.
Yo,
Yeah.
Are you
That's-
tearing up?
that's so cute.
She's my baby. She's my first baby. Yeah, I would take her to New York because I couldn't sleep without her. And I'd be very anxious that I was going to leave her there. So she was always the first thing I packed.
Yeah.
Or she would always be, anyway, love Ellie. Second thing, probably my water bottle. It's
But that'll run out.
Oh no, I know.
Okay.
But just like the thought of it.
Just the thought of the
you
bottle.
know, it's like water will be here soon. Okay, and then what is my last? What do I love? I mean, I want to say my cat, but he'd be pissed. He'd annoy me because he wouldn't have his.
He would
bougie
probably
wet
run
food.
away, get in the water, and like
He'd
not
come
even.
back.
He'd come back. Okay.
Oh, for sure. He's escaped before,
Oh.
and he always comes back. He knows where
Mhm.
home is. I just would be very anxious. So we're gonna have to leave him home just because I need to know he's safe.
Yeah.
Number 3 is, I guess, like my notebook to
Your
do my
journal,
morning
yeah.
pages.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
I guess
legit.
4 because I'd have to have a pan.
Let's
Damn
just
it.
say the notebook comes with the pan.
Or I
Like,
could be like fancy and figure things out and like, you know, burn wood and then use the end of the burnt wood as
No, you can loop pin into it.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a combo
Pen and
set.
notebook.
I purchased them together as like a set. So it's one.
Yes, exactly.
How
Oh my
about
God.
you?
I have
What's
a question
yours?
for you.
Yes,
I
tell
think
me.
it came back. It came back.
Okay, yes.
That one question. Have you seen the TikTok videos where people break the pasta?
No.
You haven't? Oh, you're so lucky.
No, I haven't.
So my aunt, when we were at her place, where she made meatballs that night, they were not that good. Anyways,
Shots fired.
They were delicious.
they were
Auntie.
delicious, Didi. She had the audacity to ask me, all right, go ahead and break the pasta. And I turn around and I go, do you realize that your sister and your niece are literally like citizens of Italy? This is the most disgusting thing you've ever asked me, Didi.
I'm not doing it.
She was like, "Oh, you don't snap it, you don't
Okay,
break it."
first
And I
of
was
all,
like,
no.
"What?"
You don't. I'm not a long pasta girl. I prefer like my stuffed pastas
Mhm.
and penne or
okay.
ziti or something like
Mhm.
that. That's kind of
I do
my
that big
realm.
ziti.
Oh my god. Mrs. Mokia used to make the best baked ziti. Anyway, so that's kind of like my thing.
Okay.
But when I was really like, I'm Italian and I'm so Italian, it's been the most Italian, having never been to Italy.
They clearly have southern accents in Italy. I'm a big old Italian man, and
I grew up on a ranch, Shane. I can't help it.
and I like Chuck E. Cheese.
I do. So my dad was living in Utah and we were out with his friends and like, he had this friend and his nephew was there and he was cutting the spaghetti. And again, in my very, very, I'm so Italian having never been to Italy and I'm, anyway, I was like, do you understand the amount of work that Italian grandmothers have to go through to make that spaghetti? And you're going to sit here and cut it. And my dad was like,
The
Alex,
disrespect.
what the hell? He's like, Alex, your grandmother never handmade pasta for you. What are you talking about?
But you know that there
But I
are
also
Italian
know.
grandmothers that are
Oh.
making the pasta.
Absolutely. My dad has gotten into making pasta recently. And just watching this poor man really get in there and
It's-
do the thing with
it's
the eggs
something.
and the wells and I'm like, it's art. It's art.
When we were in Italy for our honeymoon, I took him to a pasta class. It's so satisfying. First of all, it's so easy. It's not that hard
Yeah.
to make pasta. But
It's
just
just
anyway, I'm so happy the question came back to my brain.
we had to know. We had to know. I'm like, I'm glad.
Well, next time maybe we bring her. We
And we
would
can
love to
make
have you back,
pasta.
and we can cook.
We could
Have a
cook.
cooking episode.
Oh my.
We can make some
God.
ravioli or
my
something.
God.
Yes. I actually bought Italian flour to make
Mhm.
pastas just for pasta. So it's sitting there.
I would.
So
I
we need to
want to
use
do
it.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, because
All right.
I've never done it, and I don't have enough space in my apartment. So
I mean, we can just use the dining
Limited-
table here.
limited
You know?
space, but yeah, we could do something.
Where can we find you on socials?
it's mostly on the Instagrams. Alex Owens-Sarno, 2 S's in the middle of that. And I mean, I technically have a TikTok that I don't ever post on. I'm pretty sure that's all. That's how much I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's also Alex
Yeah.
Owens-Sarno.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it. I'm not a threader or
None of that. Yeah.
don't go near my Facebook. I'm like, that's garbage.
Facebook's just for the family.
It's
I
probably
just,
going to get deleted soon.
yeah, I only keep it so the family knows what's up with me.
Yeah, I'm
Other than
alive.
that,
We're
yeah,
fine.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here,
Thank you
girl.
for having me. This was
Like,
lovely.
I am so grateful that you took the time to chat with me. And you know what, boys? We went over our time. We had the
Yeah,
best time.
boys.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Time is overpassed.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Correct.
Just a reminder to our listeners to check out our merch at afterweshop.com, and a shout out to the after party, both VIP and backstage pass. You can join the party at patreon.com/afterwewrapshow to get exclusive content. And just love me. But
Love me.
me, not Shane.
Give
me.
Gabby
Love me.
attention.
Yeah. Love me. Thank you so much for
Dude,
being
I'm so
here.
glad you're here.
Yes. I'm so happy
This
to
was
be
so much
here.
fun.
I'm like, wait, you want me to come and talk?
Yeah.
Let's do it
Okay.
again soon.
All right, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.